Good day, everyone. So, for today, we are going to discuss the concept of conflict and war. So, this is the third topic or the third coverage that we have for our prelim exam. So, now we'll start with the definition, of course, of conflict before we will be able to dig deeper or discuss further about the concept of conflict and war. So now let's define what is conflict. So conflict, it is a struggle between individuals or something or collectivities over values or claim to status power and scarce resources in which the aims of the conflicting parties are to assert their values or claims over those of others. And when we say conflict, that is a normal form of social interaction. So, ibig sabihin yan, class, di ba, na when we talk about conflict, there is a struggle. Di ba? May paghihirap. Also, it could either be, let's say, it talks about your values, you're claiming something, di ba? You disagree, di ba? You might have a disagreement with the values with the that other person have or has, 'di ba? Let's say for example, or when you are going to claim status power, or let's say, 'di ba, common conflict that we have is all about etong sa scarce resources, especially if konti lang yung, 'di ba, limited lang yung resources natin, there are instances where yung conflict mag-arise. And it has been said dito, 'di ba, na that is a normal form of social interaction. Kasi nga, 'di ba, you are interacting with another person or other group of people. So that is what we call conflict. But when we see violent conflict, that comes to the fore when society cannot represent, manage, or resolves its different interests in a productive manner. Ibig sabihin, class, di ba, there is what we call conflict. Di ba, there is a disagreement, hindi kayo pinagkaunawaan and all. However, you are not what we call this leading to what we call is tong destruction, mga physical harm. Kasi the moment that you cannot, di ba, you cannot resolve the conflict, you cannot manage it, or let's say you cannot, let's say something represent that certain conflict that you have with the other person or in a society, so thus initiating a degeneration or destructive cycle of violence. Ibig sabihin yan, class, di ba? For it to be called a violent conflict, there is what we call destruction, degeneration, di ba? So, one form or let's say a sample, di ba, niya ng violent conflict is that, di ba, if someone or other people ended up, di ba, yung may mga harm na, di ba, may mga dangers na, and also etong what we call mga destruction already, and there is what we call violence. So what are those features of conflict? I mean, so number one, they occur within and across state boundaries. So ibig sabihin, class, that when we talk about feature, ano ba yung meron doon sa conflict? So ngayon, we are going to discuss about the distinctive attribute or aspect nitong conflict. Kaya nga, yung number one, they occur within and across state boundaries. So, ibig sabihin that it will not only happen in our area where we are, di ba, located or where we are in, but it will happen across state boundaries. Di ba? Sa ibang lugar din, sa ibang boundaries. They are political in nature, the competition for power and scarce resources in the central dynamics in social science. Kasi nga, di ba, normally, saan ba nakikita nyo normally yung mga conflict? Di ba? It normally deals with yung mga, let's say, mga politics. Iba, mas common dyan yung conflict na nangyayari, and most especially in terms of itong mga nag-aagawan sa mga scarce na resources or limited na resources. Ano ba yung na-observe nyo if in case may mga limited or scarce, di ba, uunahan, nag-aagawan sila. So there, di ba, if in case hindi sila magkaintindihan or they cannot understand each other, what's going to happen is that there is what we call conflict that will happen. They have multiple and interconnected causes. So, ibig sabihin that it is not just because of one cause or one reason bakit nag-start yung conflict, but, di ba, interconnected, konektado siya, di ba, from this one cause to another. Ayun, magkarugtong siya. they are protracted or extended in duration, ibig sabihin it will last for a long time or longer than expected or usual yung conflict. There are those naman conflict na in a short period of time, it can be resolved. However, most of the time, yung mga conflict talaga, it could either, let's say, diba, longer siya. There are those, for example, it will take months, it will take more than how many days, months, and there could either be, diba, years. It will take some years yung certain conflict. They embedded or rooted in our expressions of cleavages with existing social, political, economic, and cultural structures. So, ibig sabihin, di ba, class, going back to number 3, they have multiple and interconnected causes. So, ibig sabihin that the root cause, di ba, kung saan siya nagsimula, it could either be because of itong mga different aspects na to, social, political, economic, and cultural structures. And lastly, they involve predatory social formation. Ibig sabihin, they seek to exploit or oppress others, especially those who are, di ba, lesser of power than those, di ba, sa mga may mga malalakas na puwersa. So it means that they have this predatory social formation, di ba? They're trying to oppress, they're trying to exploit other people or other society or another state. So that are the features of conflict. Now, what are conflict in perspective? It has been categorized in 3 levels. We have, of course, conflict, the features of conflict, conflict prevention, and violent conflict. Now, let's discuss conflict in psychological perspective. As you can see, class, we have here number 1, aggression. So, when we talk about aggression, that is a disposition or manifestation characterized by assault, attack, and invasion. So, ibig sabihin that you are attacking, di ba? Someone, you are assaulting someone, you're trying to invade, di ba? A certain, let's say, for example, a certain community or a certain society. There is power. Also, aggression could mean, di ba? It is a disposition offensively and it is woven into the process of conflict. Aggression may involve anger and hostility, injury, and destructiveness. So, ibig sabihin may mga masisira or certain acts or actions. Or it is fits of rage is not always related to an underlying condition. So, ibig sabihin yan that it may be caused by, ano ba yung iba't ibang causes ng aggression. Diba? There are a lot of causes. It could either be temperament, generic predisposition towards aggression or anger, high level of stress, learned behavior environment, exposure to explosive behavior, verbal or physical abuse during early childhood. So those are some of the causes for this what we call rage, fits of rage, or this, diba, itong anger or hostility. Diba, it will cause injury or harm to other people. Now, there are ways to avoid aggression. Number 1, you need to know yours or know ourselves. Diba? It means that it is self-knowing will help us devise mechanism for redirecting aggression. So, ibig sabihin, class, we need to know ourselves. Diba? Kailangan natin kilalanin yung sarili natin so that we will be able to devise a mechanism. When we talk about mechanism, for us to be able, or a way, diba? A method or paraan, diba? For us to be able to redirect aggression. Diba? Paano man natin ma-redirect yung aggression? Number 2, promote friendship across groups line. So, bonds develop between diverse people aid in inhibiting mutual aggression. So, ibig sabihin, class, that when we develop, diba, friendship, you have a harmonious relationship, then we can be able to avoid, diba? We will be able to avoid itong what we call aggression or mutual aggression. Next, channel aggression onto substitute objects or into aggression between diverse people, aid in inhibiting aggression. So, ibig sabihin, class, that instead of, diba, directly, diba, you're going to, let's say, sa other people or other individual mo, ano yung aggression, but you channeling it, diba, to substitute objects, or let's say, to what we call this, ibang, diba, you're going to instead of directly, diba, yung sabi ko, people siya, or ano, tao ba, but instead of, you are going to look for other, diba, mga substitute, diba, that could replace, yun, diba, so that you will be able to avoid yung aggression. And next, there are 6 forms of aggression. Let's talk about first the coercive aggression. So this means that the physical violence used or with threats is instrumental in pressuring will to yield. So ibig sabihin class, when this coercive aggression, it deals with physical violence, physical harm. Diba? There is what we call physical or mga threats so that you are going to yield, diba? You're going to surrender. Next is aggression bargaining. So this is manifested through promising rewards to another self, and this can be done aggressively, which can cause destruction, like to assault or to attack another person or another people. So ibig sabihin class dito sa aggression bargaining, from the word bargain, 'di ba, nang hangyo, 'di ba, you are bargaining ng tawad, 'di ba? Kung if you are in, let's say for example, nagbili kayo, 'di ba, let's say ng goods, or let's say you're in a supermarket, 'di ba, na ginatawaran ninyo, 'di ba, you're bargaining. So for this one is what you're trying to do is you are, 'di ba, you're telling to that person you're promising a reward to that person so that, 'di ba, but it is being done aggressively. Still there is what we call tong violence still dito sa aggression bargaining, but what you are trying to do is that you are promising a reward. However, it will still cause destruction or assault or attack to another person. Next class is we have the intellectual aggression. When we say intellectual aggression, so means the use of expertise or persuasion to manifest one's interest through another self, is clearly aggressive in the attack on the ideas or the other notions. So now you are using your intellect, yung talino mo, di ba? You're trying to use that so that you will be able to persuade, di ba, yung expertise mo, so that you're going to persuade the other person or those people in the society. We have the authoritative aggression. So this one occurs whenever the authority conferred by position is used to set upon or attack subordinates. Now, what you are here in authoritative aggression, what you are using is the authority, yung authority na meron ka, di ba, to attack, di ba, your subordinates. Altruistic aggression is the attacking of others on the basis of this love. So are using this love, di ba, as a form to attack or as an instrument to attack other people or others. Then lastly class, we have the last form of aggression, the manipulative aggression, di ba? So from the word itself, di ba, this is such an offensive control over potentialities and opportunities. So ibig sabihin, you are trying to manipulate someone, di ba? Yung mga potentials nila, yung opportunities that you have seen in them, you're trying to manipulate them. So class, these are the 6 forms of aggression. Now let's discuss about the relative deprivation. So a sense of justice, or it is understood as a sense of justice in comparison with others. So it is the difference of what we want and what we get. We are being deprived, di ba? Wala nato siya makuha. Instead na kita, we are kaya nato siya makuha, di ba? But we are being deprived of it. Wala tagi-tagaan of chance. So it is used to measure fairness, inequality, or social justice, or to explain grievance or social hostility. So class, we have this also that this is driven, itong relative deprivation, this is driven by an individual's feelings of being treated unfairly compared to others in their group. An example of this relative deprivation class is, like say, for example, if I am an employee, di ba, who feels I should have gotten that promotion, but it went to another employee, so I may feel egoistically relatively deprived. Diba? Because alam mo na dapat, let's say for example, sa'yo yung promotion, however, you have been deprived, diba, of that promotion, diba, hindi na ibigay sa'yo, so it has been given, diba, to another employee. So yun, diba, it is the difference of what we want and what we get. So gusto natin yung promotion, however, hindi naman pumunta sa atin. Hindi yun siya, di ba? Yung what we get is hindi natin siya nakuha yung gusto natin. Now, class, we have another for the number 3. So, for the conflict in psychological perspective, we have here what we call misperception. So we all know what is misperception. I guess you're familiar. It's misunderstanding or confusion, di ba? Hindi pagkakaunawaan or let's say nalito lang. Conflict manifests as a result from real opposition of interest and due to perceptions. And also, it can be corrected by enabling to cooperate and made compatible through explaining. Kasi nga, di ba, there is a misunderstanding, meron kayong hindi pagkakaunawaan, and then let's say, for example, you are confused, hindi mo naintindihan, nalito ka. So, for you to be able, di ba, for you to be able to correct that, both of you or ikaw or that other person or the people in the society should enable, di ba, are capable of, di ba, cooperating, di ba, they need to participate din, then they need to have this compatibility through explaining. So, ibig sabihin yun, class, di ba, for you to, let's say, for example, for you to, tawag nito yung, maano yung mga misunderstanding nyo or confusion, you need to talk it out, di ba? You need to explain your side and listen to the other person or to that other people. Diba yung side din naman nila so that you will be able to straight the record. Kung ano man yung hindi nyo pinagkaunawaan or ano ba yung nalito kayo doon where yung conflict now start. So that is what we call class misperception. Now class, we have here what we are going to discuss next is that, di ba, I made this as your assignment, yung sa Bangsamoro struggle. Now, we are going to revisit the Bangsamoro struggle, the contested identities, and elusive peace. So, as you can see, in year 1968, there is what we call separate state called Bangsamoro. So when a group of young Muslim Filipinos, they launched the struggle to establish this, again, ang tinatawag na separate state called Bangsamoro. Nag-start yan class noong 1968. And then Bangsamoro is the state that will secede or separate from the Philippines, an independent state for Muslim in the Philippines. So, ibig sabihin class, it will be, di ba, separated, iba siyang state from the country natin na Philippines. So as you can see, the Moro struggle has been characterized as endless wars and violence, naked aggression and competition for power, and of poverty and untold human misery. So ibig sabihin class, di ba, itong Bangsamoro struggle na to, di ba, ang meron dyan, ano bang meron dyan? Di ba, ang nakapaloob dyan are mga, di ba, giyera, wars. Di ba, walang katapusang mga wars, walang katapusang violence, di ba, destruction against people, are against humanity. We have this aggression, yung hindi natin, yung mga naked aggression, hindi natin alam na mga iba't ibang nangyari doon, mga violent acts, diba? As well as what we call, kasi nga, diba, they are trying to separate, diba? They wanted to have a separate state. So this is what we call competition for power. As well as, since there has been endless wars and violence, there is what we also call poverty. And yung mga pagdurusa, diba? Untold human misery, mga hindi na nasabi, di ba? Hindi na ipahayag na mga paghihirap ng mga tao. So this moral struggle, since the moral struggle since in the early 1500s when Spaniards conquistador came. So it even started before 1968, di ba? Before they launched this what we call Bangsamoro struggle, they wanted to have that separate state. It already started during the, di ba, yung mga Spaniards na conquistadors. So it already started the Moro struggle. So now, class, in year 1890, when the Americans replaced the Spaniards, then when the independence was declared, the struggle continues. So ibig sabihin, class, di ba, right after no Spanish colonization, what happened next was the American colonization. So nung napalitan na yung mga Spaniards ng ating mga Americans, what had happened is that even though, diba, sa panahon man yun ng American colonization, happened yung declaration of our independence. However, there is still what we call, right after the declaration, there is what we call struggle, 'di ba? Andyan pa rin yung struggle. It still continued even though that our independence has already been declared. Next is that Bangsamoro and the Philippine government's perspective, it became a political and security issues. Kasi nga, di ba, as mentioned earlier, there is what we call competition for power. And also security issues. Kasi nga, di ba, you are no longer secured in the area where kung nandoon ka sa may Bangsamoro, di ba, or in that place, hindi ka na secure. Kasi nga, again, there is endless wars, violence, mga harm, di ba, mga dangers, or let's say threats to human lives. So there is what we call security issues will have arise. So next class is that when we talk about Bangsamoro, it is defined as an insurgency and secessionist movement led by certain groups in southern Philippines that are intent on usurping power from the states. Ibig sabihin kasi when we talk about insurgency, di ba tinawag itong Bangsamoro na an insurgency? That is a condition or revolt, di ba, against a government that is less than an organized revolution or a violent armed rebellion against authority waged by small, lightly armed bands who practice guerrilla warfare from primarily rural-based areas. And, di ba, sabi, secessionist movement. So, it talks about, di ba, a person who favors formal withdrawal from membership of a federation or body, especially a political state. Kasi nga, di ba, they wanted to, di ba, nag-aklas sila. Ayon, di ba, there is what we call revolt, mag-aaklas, kasi nga they wanted to have a separate state, which is which we call Bangsamoro. And then also, di ba, they wanted to withdraw from that certain doon sa Philippines. Now, withdrawal of a group from a larger entity, especially a political entity, but also from any organization, union, or military alliance. So that is what we call insurgency and secessionist movement. And next to it, class, is that what you have here is the groups in struggle for this cause. So mga yung grupo, di ba, na nag-struggle, those are the Tausogs, Magindanaos, Maranaos, and the Lumads, like Muslim Filipino and indigenous or native Filipino or Islamist, extremist, and jihadist. And also we have other contemporary Muslim movements. We have here what we call secular modernists, the MNLF, the Moro National MNLF, di ba? The Moro National Liberation Front, if I'm not mistaken. And we have here the Islamic fundamentalists, the Moro Islamic Liberation Front. So ayun, di ba? We have here as well the materialist Abu Sayyaf group or the ASG. So we have the MNLF, the Moro National Liberation Front. We have the Moro Islamic Liberation Front and the Abu Sayyaf group. Now, class, next to it is that let's discuss the phases of struggle to build a nation within a nation. Now, when we talk about, class, ano ba yung ibig sabihin natin, build a nation within a nation? So, ibig sabihin yan, a nation within a nation is a nation that is allowed to exist so long as it surrenders its rights to act on behalf of its citizen without interference from other nations. So this is also what we call nation building, di ba? Or constructing or structuring a national identity using the power of the state. Nation building aims at the unification of the people within the state so that it remains politically stable and viable in the long run. So, ayun. So, ibig sabihin, class, that in a certain nation, di ba, or within a nation, we are going to build another nation. So, as you can see, in 1380, this is the Islamization of the indigenous communities, followed by, in 1400, the Islamic forms of government known as Sultanate is already or were already in place in 1400, and then in 1450, Sulu Sultanate, they have already formally established it, and it was headed by a chief who was a Tausog. So now, class, Tausog was one of the ethnic communities that lived in the islands and who were considered the aristocrats or elites, di ba? Ang mga medyo mayayaman in the community, mga mayayaman doon sa community. Now, we have here sultans which were called as or were the panglima who were responsible for the administration of their appointed territories. Now, we have here Dato, which is the head of the territory but a subordinate of the panglima from a local powerful family. Galing doon yung Dato. Now, class, we have here what we call the Ruma Bichara, which is, di ba, the council which is headed by the Dato. Now, the Maguindanao Sultanate or the was comprised of Islamized tribe like the Maranao, Maguindanao, Iranon, Sanglis, and the Calagan. Now, we also have the Islamic tribes, the Subanes, Teduray, Tibulis, Bagobos, Mansakas, and the Manobos. So those are the tawag nito yung mga tribes, di ba? The Islamized and the non-Islamized tribes in the Mindanao Sultanate. Now, class, let's discuss itong what we call the significant effect of the existence of these multiple ethno-linguistic groups. So, number one, it indicates that apart from the politically dominant and influential elites, the ethnic configuration is the frontier of the Philippines was not confined to Muslim groups alone. So, next is that the Sultanate, because of their highly developed political structure, was their economic self-sufficiency. So when we talk about self-sufficiency, ibig sabihin yung ability of individuals and families to maintain sufficient income to consistently meet their basic needs, including ano ba yung mga basic needs? We have food, housing, utilities, healthcare, transportation, taxes, mga dependent care, and clothing with no or minimal financial assistance or subsidies from private or public. So, ibig sabihin, di ba, they are, di ba, self-sufficient, di ba? Ibig sabihin, they can be able to supply, di ba? Sufficient yung income nila to meet their basic needs. Wherein naman, class, di ba, hindi sila dito, ito sa number 1, ibig sabihin ito, hindi sila na-confine doon sa mga Muslim groups alone. But also, there has been other groups, di ba, na hindi lang sila tawag nito, hindi lang sila doon, di ba, or natatangi lang doon na they belong to that Muslim groups. Hindi lang doon siya. But there are still, di ba, a lot or other multiple na mga groups. Now is that we have here the formation from Moros to Muslim Filipinos during American rule. So number 1, the American colonial administration, through its policy of attraction, encouraged a large number of migration of people from other parts of the country to settle in Mindanao. Diba? As you can see, there is what we call settlement. This is settlement in Mindanao during the American colonial administration. Diba, nahikayat nila, they have attracted, they have encouraged yung number of people to migrate. Diba? Ibig sabihin, to transfer from one place to another, diba? In other parts, from other parts of the country, they want to settle. Saan sila magpunta? Saan sila mag-migrate? Dito sa Mindanao. So, American crushed the Moro resistance was the introduction of the Public Land Act, which systematically controlled the ownership, distribution, and registration of land. So, this is why we have this what we call Public Land Act 718, which declared null and void all lands granted by Moro sultans and datos or non-Christian chiefs. So, ibig sabihin, yung mga naibigay doon sa Moro sultans, datos, di ba, they have declared it null and void. Di ba, yung ownership nila doon, distribution, or even the registration of the land. So, in the political arena, the Americans publicly acknowledged the influence of the sultans and datos. So, ibig sabihin nun, they have, di ba, in-acknowledge nila. So, ibig sabihin nun that the influence of the sultans and datos remains and they allowed them, di ba, their status to remain intact. And lastly, they explicitly recognize their hierarchy as an intrinsic component of Moro political structure, which is why the Americans have publicly acknowledged, di ba, in-acknowledge sila, and then they allowed them, di ba, to retain or to remain their status as datos and sultans because of this intrinsic, di ba, yung belonging naturally sa kanila yung component ng isang Moro political nature or essential siya, di ba, essential siya na component ng Moro political culture. Now, class, let's discuss the genesis of Moro struggle. So now, let's start with year 1960. This is the construction of the Muslim Filipino identity referred to as non-Hispanized Filipino who professed Islam. So, ibig sabihin nun, class, diba, na ito daw, yung sa year 1960, diba, meron tayong dito na construct, diba, dito na built yung Muslim Filipino identity. They have understand it as the non-Hispanized Filipino, diba, who professed Islam. So, next is that, not an expansion, di ba, this identity, di ba, kailangan daw itong maintindihan that it is not an expansion of Islamic observance but an amplification among Muslim elite with an ethnic identity as Muslim Filipinos. Ayun. So, ibig sabihin nun, di ba, they are trying to increase, di ba? That is the process of increasing or an action of enlarging or let's say adding detail to a story or to that, di ba, yung statement doon. So, ibig sabihin nun, di ba, they are trying to amplify, increase the number of that Muslim elite with an ethnic identity as referred to the Muslim Filipinos. Now, class, in July 4, 1946, so this is the Philippine independence, or the U.S. declared the Philippine independence on July 4, 1946, incorporating the Sultanate of Sulu and Maguindanao as part of the new republic. Ibig sabihin, di ba, incorporate, pinag-isa, di ba, tawag ito, inisa nila yung Sulu and Maguindanao, di ba, as part of the new republic. However, di ba, Muslims showed resistance in many forms because of the incorporation of the two sultanates. Ibig sabihin nun, di ba, when they have included yung Sulu na sultanate and yung Maguindanao as one, di ba, there is what we call resistance. Di ba, meron silang tinatawag na they refuse to comply with that incorporation, di ba? They refuse to accept that, di ba? So, ibig sabihin nun, what had happened is that in effect, ang nangyari, the Dansalan Declaration, as you can see on March 18, 1935, drawn by 120 datos of the Lanao province, declared their desire to be excluded from the Philippine territory. Kasi nga, di ba, yun yung naging epekto nung tawag nito, yung pag-incorporate nila sa Sultanate of Sulu and Maguindanao. So, ayun, nag-declare sila, di ba, nung kagustuhan or desire of this, what we call 120 datos doon sa Lanao province na ma-exclude daw sila, di ba, hindi sila part ng Philippine territory. The document was the most visible signs of the nascent movement among the other Muslims to build their own Bangsamoro. So, ibig sabihin nun, class, di ba, na that is one of those, yung parang clear nila, di ba, nagsabi ng signs or intention that they wanted to have their own Bangsamoro or a separate state. Kasi they don't like that idea to be incorporated yung Sultanate of Sulu and yung Maguindanao, di ba, to become as one or part of the new republic. Next is that we have here, the resistance became the reason of grievances about exclusion, deprivation, and underdevelopment, in which these sentiments were borne out several decades. Ibig sabihin, di ba, it already happened for how many, tawag nito, for how many na mga decades, di ba? It's just not about 10 years, 20 years, but several years, di ba? There is what we call, kasi nga ayaw nila, di ba? They resisted, di ba? They don't want that idea to become part of this, what we call yung incorporation. So what had happened is that they have been excluded, nag-deprive sila ng mga, yung para dapat sa kanila, and then there is what we call underdevelopment. Hindi na-develop yung kanilang lugar. Which is, di ba, because of this mga sentiments, it happened for several decades. Ayun. Next, disunity is seen in the rivalry between MNLF, the Moro National Liberation Front, and the MILF, the Moro Islamic Liberation Front, wherein they have accused, di ba, each other of selling out Bangsamoro cause. Ano ba yung, tawag doon, binibenta nila, di ba? They're selling out kung ano ba yung dahilan nitong Bangsamoro. So as for the MNLF class, so this group give the movement a stronger stand in terms of social and self-determination, while yung MILF, they have the vision of the Islamic State is more on autonomy rather than being an independent and Islamic Bangsamoro. So yung vision nila, diba, is that to have the right or condition of self-government instead of having lang doon na maging independent and Islamic sila na Bangsamoro or separate state. Now, let's move on the armed violence in Mindanao, Militea, and the private armies. So now, let's move on to November 2009, wherein, diba, I'm not sure, class, if ilang taon ba kayo nito nung 2009, kasi 2009, I was in third year high school na to. Siguro kayo, I'm not sure though. Let's say elementary. I'm not sure if you have witnessed or if you have seen in the television yung Maguindanao Massacre. So this happened in November 2009. To be exact, it happened itong Maguindanao Massacre noong November 23, 2009. So this is because, di ba, it was directed, this happened in the province of Maguindanao, which is, kaya siya tinawag na Maguindanao Massacre. Now, it was directed by the political powerful Ampatuan clan against the family members of the Mangudadato. So that is the reason why, class, di ba? Still, it is about politics. If you have recalled earlier that it is political in nature, yung conflict or yung violent conflict. Allegedly, di ba, the massacre was participated by this what we call the Civilian Volunteer Organization or the CVO, controlled and serve as private armies of the Ampatuans. But, di ba, come to think of it, they are private armies. Di ba, sila yung private armies ng Ampatuan, but they are being funded. Yung funds nila are galing sa local government unit or the LGU. Now, class, when we talk about militia, this is the common feature of modern warfare, yet surprisingly recognizable soldiers, including civil defense forces like paramilitia, armed gangs, and private armies. And as well as this militia act as a de facto community police or auxiliary forces created by the state. So, ibig sabihin, ang gumawa nito, di ba, they act as a police. Di ba, mga police forces, they acted as police forces. However, they have been created by the state. Yung state yung lang yung gumawa sa kanila. So, they are a group of people who are not part of the armed forces of the country. Hindi sila part ng armed forces of the Philippines, but they were trained like soldiers and can be called anytime during emergency. So, ibig sabihin, di ba, private army personally owned by a certain private individual. Di ba, created sila ng state. Now, we have here what we call DDR, Disarmament, Demobilization, and Reintegration Program. So, it aimed to control weapons, which includes the militia. Kasi nga, di ba, part of that DDR or Disarmament, Demobilization, and Reintegration Program, they also wanted to control not just the weapons, but as well as itong militia, itong mga community police or auxiliary forces. Diba, that they act as the armed forces of the, diba, they are not part of the armed forces, but they act like part of the armed forces. Militia have proven difficult to include in the security component of peace process and agreement where their needs are overlooked, which lead to the staying of arms in their possession legally and illegally. Kasi nga, di ba, class, it has been mentioned that because of itong mahirap siya, di ba, it's very difficult daw, di ba, na maging or include siya doon, di ba, sa security component of peace process agreement. Kasi nga, di ba, yung needs nila, yung mga kailangan nila, yung kailangan nitong mga people, 'di ba, part of this militia are na-overlook. Hindi nabibigyan hindi nabibigyan ng pansin. So which is why they would still, 'di ba, doon pa rin they would still stay, 'di ba, doon in possession of those mga weapons, legally or illegally nila 'yon na possess or nakuha nila yung mga weapons na yun or those mga they lead to the staying of arms in their possession legally and illegally. So armed violence class in Mindanao is multi-phased, motivated by ideology of local and regional struggles over political power and resources, clan conflict, vigilantism, and opportunistic crimes. Ibig sabihin, class, yung armed violence, ibig sabihin ng armed violence, there is violence, there is aggression, there is harm, danger, along with the usage of different armaments, different weapons, may mga handguns, may mga mga tank, 'di ba? May mga tanks, ayun siya, may mga baril, may mga iba't ibang weapons. Yun siya. However, the reason, 'di ba, multi-phase, iba't ibang itsura ng reason nitong armed violence in Mindanao. And they are motivated by different ideologies. Iba? Kaya nga yung mga iba't ibang communist terrorists, they are being kind of fueled or they are, andyan sila because meron silang mga pinaniniwalaan. Ayun. It could either be because of the local and regional struggles, because of the political power, di ba? They wanted to rule, di ba? Because they wanted to have a separate state or what? Or also, they wanted to have yung mga sa resources, kasi nga scarce resources, Iba nakikipag-agawan sila, so they wanted to have yung resources limited to them or what. May mga clan conflicts, di ba? Just let's take for example itong family ng Ampatuan and Mangudadato, and also itong vigilantism, mga opportunistic crime. As long as there is an opportunity to commit a crime, they will do so. Now, violence, ito naman sa class, now violence is associated with the Bangsamoro liberation movements and foreign terrorism. Also, security threats come from elsewhere like powerful political clans, business interests, politicians, private security firms, non-state armed groups, and security forces. So, ibig sabihin, class, that it is not just about yung violence that we have in Mindanao or let's say doon sa doon sa Mindanao, but there are still security that's coming from different let's say different na mga aspects, politicians, business interests, ayun siya, those are the sources or asa nanggagaling yung tinatawag nating security threats. So that's it, class, for the armed violence in Mindanao, militia, and private armies. Now let's talk about here gender and conflict in Mindanao. So in October 31, 2000, as you can see, the Security Council, they adopted a resolution on women and peace and security by the United Nations Security Council. So what is the aim? Diba? Ano ba yung aim nitong resolution? So to prevent violation on women's rights, to promote women's participation in peace negotiation and post-conflict reconstruction, to protect women and girls from sexual violence in times of war. So basically, this talks about the rights, diba, ng women, ng mga children, as well as yung peace negotiation, ano yung participation ng women doon sa peace negotiation, yung mga sexual violences sa mga babae. So that is the purpose of that or the aim ng resolution ng Security Council. Diba, when they have adopted that resolution about women and peace and security. So it has been agreed that women had a vital role for shaping peace through their social contribution as citizens. They could become educators, economic actors, mothers, community mediators, and leaders of civil society groups. Which is why, class, diba, they have really acknowledged yung yung important, yung vital role ng women, diba, for us to be able to shape yung peace that we wanted. Now, let's discuss about the geographic and ethnic profile of Mindanao or in Mindanao. So, number one here, as we have that Mindanao is the second largest island in the Philippines. So, it comprises 21.5 million people and having 37,657 square meters, wherein majority of the people living here in Mindanao are Christian. Ayun. Next is that, class, for centuries, Mindanao has been the homes of the indigenous people and Muslims called Moros. Then, Bangsamoro is defined as the Moro nation, and Mindanao has 6 regions. As you can see, we have the Zamboanga Peninsula, Northern Mindanao, Caraga region, Davao regions, Soc-Sargent, and the Bangsamoro ARMM, or the Autonomous Region of Muslim Mindanao. And as you can see, Bangsamoro, diba, again, it is defined as the Moro nation. Bangsamoro yan siya. Next, class, let's discuss about the impact of conflict on women and gender. So as you can see, when conflict, diba, intensifies or lumala siya, so people may become refugees, forced to leave their lands and livelihood to seek safety. So diba, parang the same lang din yan na what is happening with Ukraine and Russia, diba, today. Diba, there are a lot of people who seek refuge to their yung neighboring countries or doon sa kabilang countries na yon. Where in the same goes happen dito naman sa mga women, dito sa mga people, sa mga children, di ba, yung tao, if in case they are in between war or they are experiencing conflict or nasa war sila, they will become refugees. They will seek refuge, di ba? Diba, when we talk about refugees, a person who has been forced to leave their country in order to escape war, persecution, or let's say if there is a natural disaster. But talking about conflict, they will be forced to leave their lands and livelihood so that they will seek safety, to become secure. Kasi sino ba yung gustong maipit? Who wants to be in between that conflict or of that war? Diba? If we are, diba, there are a lot of people who would really take into consideration yung kanilang safety ng family and then yung mismong sarili nila. And there is what we call here in a conflict called RIDO, conflict among clans, men are vulnerable as primary targets for revenge, and it is common for them to respond, which limit their social movements in order to avoid attacks. Kasi nga, di ba, in nature talaga, yung man naman, di ba, is, di ba, they have this what we call, parang instinct na nila, or their common, di ba, it is common for them to respond if in case, di ba, if they are being targeted. So what they are going to do is that they are going to seek revenge, which is why, di ba, limited lang yung ways nila in order to avoid attacks. Kasi nga, again, that is their nature. Common yan na response nila. Now, in cases naman, class, of conflict between armed combatant groups, men run the risk of being misled by government forces by being a combatant of the insurgent group. So, ibig sabihin, di ba, yung mga na-misled, hindi na those who have been misguided, hindi sila naggabayan, di ba? They are being a combatant doon sa mga insurgent groups, yung mga nagre-revolt, yung mga nag-aaklas, leading them to be restricted in their travels outside the home and become dependent on women in sort of activities like social, political, and economic. Kasi nga, di ba, anong ginagawa nila? When they become combatant of those, tawag nitong insurgent groups, what's happening is that hindi sila restricted sila. Kasi nga, di ba, right now, we have this what we call ongoing din naman talaga, or let's say, for example, na less na yung, tawag dito yung parang engagement between our armed forces nung, let's say, for example, ng mga army, between those mga communist terrorists. So what's happening is that, since they are being restricted to travel outside their homes, what's happening is that they become dependent to women in all sort of activities. In case of armed violence, as you can see, between combatant groups, women may also take on the role of emergency physicians and rescue officers, risk crossfires or interrogation by the armed forces to rescue the dead and injured. Which is why, di ba, class, earlier, it has been discussed in this what we call yung inadapt ng Security Council na tinatawag natin na resolution, di ba, no, October 31, 2000, sinabi doon that they have yung resolution, the reason why they adopted it because they wanted to prevent yung mga violation of rights, as well as because of that vital role of women in shaping peace. Wherein dito naman sa tinatawag nating itong impact of conflict on women and gender, di ba, we have seen that they have highlighted that yung role nitong mga women is really vital important kasi they could become, di ba, emergency physicians, rescue officers, and the likes. As well as in Mindanao, displacement are the women and children, becoming more vulnerable to abuses, economic distresses, and marginalization, physical and mental health problems, political powerless, and deep-rooted social uncertainty. So, ibig sabihin daw niyan, class, di ba, because of this, di ba, sino ba yung normally na displaced? So, sino ba yung normally na napapaalis, di ba? When we talk about displaced, yung napapaalis sa kanilang homes, di ba, because of this conflict, normally, they are those, yung mga women and children, and what's happening is that they are experiencing this, what we call mga different problems. Common to it, yung mga trauma, physical, mental na health na problems. Displaced women and children will also bear the brunt of discrimination in host communities. Ibig sabihin ng class, di ba, they are being yung discrimination, di ba, they are being discriminated, di ba, once they go to that certain community, wherein, according to the International Displacement Monitoring Center, that 26,000 families, or at least 128,000 people, remain displaced in Mindanao, which is as of June 2010. So, ibig sabihin nun, di ba, marami pa palang tawag dito, families, di ba, ang wala doon sa kanilang mga tirahan, di ba, in Mindanao, hindi sila doon nakatira kung saan sila nakatira dati. In ARMM, in Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, schooling is often interrupted when schools are closed due to conflict. Families are displaced with an attack of dengue, which is common in a crowded condition. So, ibig sabihin nun, class, di ba, what's happening is that instead of school is a place for education, where yung mga children or yung mga bata, di ba, nag-aaral, it is being closed because nga, there is what we call conflict, may mga war. Ano bang gagawin doon, di ba? If there is a war or may conflict, di ba, it is being interrupted. And now, they are, as well as this, what we call yung mga attack of dengue. Diba, yung mga sakit. it is common kasi nga, di ba, once they are already been displaced, maraming displaced na family, what's going to happen is that, di ba, magkukumpul-kumpulan sila, they are going to go to one place, di ba, kung saan sila magsisik ng refuge, wherein there is what we call na, there might be, or there is a possibility na mag-arise din itong what we call yung mga dengue or yung mga sakit. Kasi nga, it is becoming crowded. Iba, nagiging crowded na siya yung lugar. And lastly, the psychological impact of conflict to children may show signs of post-traumatic stress disorder or PTSD, such as startle reflexes, nightmares, and anxiety, which is kaya nga siya class, diba? Because of this conflict, hindi lang din naman, in movies, we have seen, diba, yung mga combatants, yung pumupunta doon sa gera or war, diba? Sila, there are times, meron talaga silang tinatawag din ng mga stress or trauma, kasi nga, diba, let's say, namamatayan, diba, let's say, may mga bombings anywhere and everywhere, diba, doon sa lugar. However, ito rin yung mga children at a younger age, diba, if they have witnessed or they've witnessed yung mga iba't ibang conflict, especially yung war, diba, what's going to happen is that they will show signs of this what we call PTSD or post-traumatic stress disorder. May iba dyan na, diba, parang tawag nito yung parang bigla-bigla lang na nagugulat, yung iba nagna-nightmare, diba, napapaniginipan nila, and there are those na nagkaka-anxiety because of that tinatawag natin conflict, di ba? Post-traumatic stress disorder. Nangyayari yan sa mga bata. At hindi lang din yan sa bata. We are not only limiting it to the children, but as well as pwede din yan sa women, men, and to all those, di ba, na who have experienced this conflict or war. So, let's move on to the next slide. Let's discuss on youth, peace, and security in Mindanao, Philippines. So, number 1 here, the adaptation of United Nations Security Council Resolution 2250 or the UNSCR 2250. So, here class, in this UNSCR 2250, in this one class, so it recognizes the importance of the youth as an agent of change in the maintenance and promotion of peace and security. So it's just not only about yung, diba, yung resolution that has been adopted din kanina, but as well as the importance of the youth. So youth as defined here, diba, as those who are 18 to 29 years of age as described in the resolution. So yun yung definition of youth doon sa resolution. So these youth are not innocent bystanders, yung mga tambay lang. Their energy and idealism, when properly channeled, promised immense contribution in resolving conflict across all levels of politics and governance. So, ibig sabihin, class, di ba, na if hindi lang sila yung mga inosente na andyan lang sa tabi-tabi or gilid-gilid, but, di ba, if they have given yung energy nila, yung idealism nila, di ba, yung if it is being properly channeled or if it is being, di ba, parang tawag nito, yung parang na-address yun siya, yung energy and idealism nila. So there is a potential, diba, na makikita natin that could have a contribution in terms of resolving yung conflict. In some reasons, they are not onto terrorism and or being part with rebellious groups. But in some cases, they become a victim in different terrorism. Kasi nga, diba, as you have all noticed, diba, there is already an increasing number in terms of the number of those youth, diba, yung mga kabataan that are already involved with terrorism. So in consonance of the international law, the youth 29 and below should be protected by all parties of a conflict. So they should be engaged as active political actors with the framework of inclusive peacemaking. So as you can see here, the MILF, MNLF, Bangsamoro Freedom Fighters, BFF, and Abu Sayyaf group controlled several areas of central Mindanao. Diba? These are those mga communist terrorist na groups. So these rebellious groups are the ones responsible of youth being recruited as one of their soldiers by influencing them. Kasi nga, diba, at an early age, they can be easily influenced. They can be easily, tawag nito, madali lang silang ma-influensyahan, diba, ng itong mga different rebellious groups. As well as technological advancement has given these people to rapidly influence youth using social media, primarily Facebook and YouTube. But nowadays, in the present time, di ba, class, there has been a lot of tawag nito, avenues or a lot of medium, di ba, for us or ways or means for them to be able to recruit etong mga bata. There are also those, di ba, sabi nila na pinag-aaral nito mga communist rebellious group or mga rebellious groups, which is, di ba, intelligent din. Kaya nga again, if this energy of those and idealism of these mga innocent bystanders, itong mga youth na these youth are not innocent bystanders, kundi lang sila yung mga inosente lang dyan, nasa gilid-gilid, di ba, yung sabi ko. But if they are, di ba, yung intellect nila, the wisdom, yung knowledge nila, if they are being used properly, it could really help resolve this conflict, or we can be able or use it, di ba, to achieve peace. However, there are those who would take advantage, di ba, who would recruit them in this what we call, or who would influence them, di ba, na maging part nito mga rebellious groups. So now, in May 2017, during the Marawi siege, Muslim youth were able to join the conflict. So I'm not sure if you are familiar with this Marawi siege. So, di ba, or if you have seen that, or if you have heard that in the radios, or let's say you have watched that in, di ba, being broadcast in television. So, di ba, as you can see, di ba, there has been reports, or it has been reported that there were involvement ng mga Muslim youth doon sa conflict sa Marawi siege. And then, one of the researchers, Sir Weska, cited that there are many MILF combatants that have been interviewed and have shared their respective armed groups. So, ayun siya. Now, let's talk about the madrasa, the Arabic school, and the recruitment area. So, madrasa, diba, as we all know, is a religious and cultural training grounds that used Arabic as medium of instruction. And then, however, according to the World Bank, there are over 400 madrasas that open in Mindanao, and with less than 10% were recognized by the government. So it's basically, let's see, more or less 40 only madrasa yung recognized ng government. And those or some madrasa were not checked by the government, for it was not recognized and not operating in accordance in the law. So ibig sabihin, there are those siguro na mga madrasa that, diba, they do not operate, diba? Yung madrasa na yun, and when it was open, it is not in accordance. They did not follow the law. So, Sir Weska cited that it will in favor to the rebellious group for recruitment strategies by influencing young madrasa students to take part of their rebellious act. So, ibig sabihin no na, di ba, instead of this, di ba, as a training ground, as a religious and cultural training grounds, di ba, etong madrasa, but it is now being used by those rebellious group for recruitment strategies. Especially, di ba, sino ba yung andoon sa madrasa? Normally, di ba, may marami doon mga children. So, they are or yung mga kabataan, di ba, young madrasa students, they are being influenced, di ba, to take part of their rebellious act or to become part of those communist terrorist groups. So now, let's move on to the next slide. Marawi, the Caliphate of Southeast Asia. So, Mindanao, especially class in Muslim area, were host a number of violent conflicts. So, ibig sabihin, di ba, maraming Muslim area doon, or here in Mindanao class, na naging host siya, or siya, yun yung place kung saan nangyari yung mga violent conflicts. So, violence were categorized into armed insurgent, Islamist terrorism, and banditry. But going back to Marawi, being the Caliphate of Southeast Asia class, it means that it is an Islamic form of government in which political and religious leadership is united, and the head of the state, the caliph, is a successor to the Prophet Muhammad. So, a caliphate or khilafah is an institution or public office governing a territory under Islamic rule. So, the person who holds this office carries the title of caliph and is considered a political religious successor to the Islamic Prophet Muhammad and a leader of the entire Muslim world. So, now class, we have here inter and intra-clad feuds known as the Rido, which exists, which rooted in political rivalries. Kasi nga, di ba, as mentioned earlier, yung Ridos, it is yung wars against clans or conflict among clans. Di ba? So, Maoti group or Maoti, a local group rooted to use financial incentives the one responsible for the bloody 5 months warfare last 2017 at Marawi City. So parang kailan lang, 5 years ago, 'di ba, when this Marawi siege had happened, 'di ba? So ito silang mauti na grupo, they were the one responsible nung bloody 5 months na warfare. Grabe yung giyera doon sa Marawi City. The Marawi group are also linked with the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, or the ISIS, and the Abu Sayyaf. And also, these times reports on the participations of the youth who fought alongside the Mauti against the government talks, diba? Which is why it has been mentioned earlier that during the Marawi siege, there has been, diba, observed most Muslim youth, they were able to join the conflict in the Marawi siege. So, ayun siya, diba? But they have fought alongside those mga communist terrorist group etong sa Mauti instead of side, diba, doon sa government troops, or, diba, tawag nito, instead of dapat they would seek safety, they would seek, diba, yung security, but instead they have fought alongside the Mauti group, those who have been influenced not to participate in the rebellious act. These youth receive a monthly assistance of less than $100 US, diba, $100 siya. Inyo, as you can see, if you are to convert that, let's say for example, $1 is equivalent to 50 pesos, that's around 5,000 monthly assistance. So, our researcher, Sir Weska, visited an MILF camp in Maguindanao, so where he observed that most of the population in the camp were composed of youth. He has also the opportunity to interview the high-ranking officials in Bangsamoro Islamic Armed Forces are youth and with a professional degree holder. So, come to think of it, class, diba? Those who are in the high rank, yung mga officials in high rank, they are mga youth, diba, mga bata, and with some professional degree holder. Kaya nga yung ibig sa yung sinabi nila talaga, diba, it was taught to us, or parang it has been discussed with us, diba, sa history din, that itong mga communist terrorist groups, there are really those na yung parang pinag-aaral nila na mga kabataan, diba, yung mga na-influence nila, pinag-aaral nila sa mga sikat na mga universities or colleges, diba, they are being financed, finance nila, but they are using them, diba, to become their leaders. So, which is why, during that, yung example, yung sa Marawi na siege, diba, in Marawi City, so what had happened is that, yung makita mo doon sa camp nila, diba, in an MLF camp, in Maguindanao, even in Maguindanao, are mga kabataan. They were composed of youth, mga bata. So let's move on to the United Youth for Peace and Development, or UNIPAD. So this is a non-government organization in Cotabato City who are administered by a small number of young professionals. So this UNIPAD studied how to end the RIDO, or yung conflict among clans, that has been in Maguindanao and Cotabato for 2 decades. Diba? Again, yung features of conflict, diba, it is, tawag nito, it will run for a long time, diba? It does not happen only for a short period. If there are, kukonti lang siya, but normally itong conflict, it will really last for a long period of time. So by the help of Asia Foundation and U.S. Agency for Development, the group were able to mobilize the elders and conduct education, conflict resolution, dialogue, family consultation, and information dissemination. So ito yung naging mga, tawag nito, na itulong nitong UNIPAD doon sa area nila, di ba? UNIPAD was successful in bringing together the peace and sealing the conflict to an end. So March 2007 was the Thanksgiving, or the Kanduli celebration for the success of this endeavor, or the endeavors that they have achieved. Yung purpose ng kanilang tinatawag nito, ng organization nila. So the poisons or power of the Kapa Magogopa Incorporated and Youth. So we have here. So they are well known as KI. So well known for mobilizing youth towards peace and development initiative in Muslim and non-Muslim communities in Mindanao. So this is another group na naman, class. So the two programs of the KI are the Kapa Magogopa Incorporated on Youth. So number 1, Muslim youth volunteering for peace and development, and the Interfaith Youth Dialogue. Ito yung program first nila, isang program nila. And the second program that they have is partnering with over a dozen NGO and agencies located in the key area of Mindanao. Ito yung programa nila. So this program intend to attract or convince the Muslim youth to be enrolled in local colleges and universities so they gain exposure to peace and development instead of being influenced by those communist terrorist group, being brainwashed, di ba, class? So at least here, if they will be enrolled to these local colleges and universities, they will gain exposure, di ba? They will be just like what we are doing right now in this core subject, di ba? So you are now being taught about peace education, development, di ba? How to avoid conflict, how to avoid aggression, so that instead of you, or di ba youth, di ba sabi nga nila, yung youth is ang kabataan ang pag-asa ng bayan. So instead of you, di ba, punta kayo doon sa joining those mga rebellious acts, being part of those communist terrorists, you rather, di ba, tawag nito, invest in your future, or di ba, become an agent of change, di ba, in, tawag nito, yung sinusulong yung peace and development. And the second program aimed to achieve youth-led dialogues, forum, and seminars to acclaim religious and culturally sensitive young citizens. So that's the end class of the topic for the concept of conflict and war. So thank you so much for listening and good day everyone.